Yo, check this out. I received this in the mail, right? Hello, black man. And I'm so excited about it. This is a journal to help black men articulate their feelings, express their feelings. Hell, just acknowledge that we have them in a safe and honest way. And hopefully, it will translate into other parts of your life. I get it. As a black man, a lot of us weren't encouraged or taught to talk about our feelings. As a kid, when you fail and hurt yourself, your parents told you to get up. You're a big boy. Big boys don't cry. That right there is a hard lesson to unlearn, and it's very hurtful. Because when we become older, we don't know how to express ourselves. We don't know how to talk about our feelings. We don't know how to have a conversation without lashing out or using profanity or getting upset and becoming violent, because we weren't taught. But this, man, is essential, not just to each one of us becoming a better person, but a society of men being able to express themselves is priceless. So if you want to become the best version of you that you can do, check out helloblackman.com. Grab the journal, actually journal in it, be honest, be open, and be accessible to your feelings and embrace them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jamie Jenkins. We're back with another episode of Hello Black Man. Hey, listen, it has already been a long day for me. And I just can't imagine how, just getting back into the grind, getting back into the entire week, getting yourself motivated. Sometimes it takes a lot. Sometimes it does. And just having the opportunities to get back out there in the workforce or school force or whatever you're going to, man. I hopefully that Monday went well, because a lot of times I know when you have a rocky Monday, it can, spiral. It can spiral kind of out of control. But hopefully this Monday was great. You planned for it, you were ready for it, and you're up to the task at hand. Tonight, we have a special young man on with us for this episode of the Hello Black Man podcast. When you talk about what students are going through, young men are going through, and having the ability to do all of that and go above and beyond for your community. I know at this age, at the age that this young man is coming on at this age, my mind was not set that way. I simply was not wired to think long term. And it is phenomenal to see young men at his age come on, positive mindset, community-based, family-driven, just to have those things at the forefront. Fun was at the forefront of my college career, and that's kind of where I started. But this kind of I matured into doing something else. But as far as what this young man is doing, it is absolutely phenomenal. As far as his community driven aspect, and I just want to commend him for it. So without further ado, we're going to bring our guest on fairly quickly tonight. This is Mr. B.J. Simmons.
I'm B.J. Simmons, like Jamie said, and I'm just happy to be on here.
Man, that's what's up. B.J., tell the viewers who you are and where you are and your major and
Okay.
what you got going on with school, man.
All right, so I'm a senior college student at Norfolk State University. It's the HBCU in Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
My major is business finance, and I'm aspiring to be a financial analyst. You get that?
Yeah, it was a little choppy there. It's coming back in now.
Okay.
I guess what's so phenomenal about it is I had a first cousin go to Norfolk State. She came up there. Yeah, she came up there and played in the band. She was a tuba player.
Okay. Oh, I played the tuba back in the day.
Yeah, so it's just crazy how how there's always a connection. Like literally everybody I've interviewed and talked to, that brought on a podcast, like there's always some connection there. I've never been to Norfolk myself. I think I've only been up that way one time, like when she first moved, and we kind of helped her get settled in. But the fact that you went to Norfolk, she went to Norfolk, and actually she got there and never came back, so she's still in the area now.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So she liked the community, liked um, the residents and the area, and so she's been there ever since she graduated high school in the mid 2000s. So that's awesome. So I guess now tell a little bit about some of the things you do as far as the community base and what you're trying to grow as far as your brand and what you do.
Okay, so my podcast, Amongst Men, started, I want to say, about 6 months ago. And honestly, what gave me the idea to start the podcast was my own issues.
Mm-hmm.
So before Norfolk State, I was playing basketball. I'm a basketball player. I'm 6'5", so I'm a tall guy.
Okay.
And I was playing basketball at a small D3 school in Western Virginia. And the school I was at, the area was a lot different than what I was used to. So the area I grew up in was a pretty diverse area. So I'll say, like, I never really dealt with direct racism. Right. I grew up in the northern part of Virginia, towards the north. So I never really dealt with direct racism. And when I got to the school, I just remember a lot of microaggressions that I was experiencing that I didn't quite understand yet.
Yeah.
But I noticed they were there, and they made me feel some type of way.
Did you attempt to? I don't want to cut you off. Did you attempt to dismiss, what you were getting? Like a lot of times when people are like, well, I'm not sure, I don't know what's going on, just kind of brush it off. You know what I'm saying? Or it was something that you couldn't brush off.
Because at first I thought I was tripping. No, I thought I was tripping. I was like, man, maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe I'm not. Because what started first for me was, I remember my first day there. It's probably around 8 or 9 o'clock. I was ready to take a shower. I went into the showers, and I remember everyone in the shower would just look at me, and they would get up and leave. So I'm thinking, like, maybe they all just finished at the same time. I went to take a shower the next time. The next day, it was the same thing. It started off with people avoiding me. And then it started off with my professors. After people avoiding me from using, like I said, taking a shower, using the restroom, people were leaving. My professors would always single me out when we would talk about things about race, or they would talk about things going on in different communities. So they'd be like, I had one psychology teacher, and I remember she would always pick on me when it came to talking about people in lower income families and lower income communities. And she would say, so yeah, these are typically called hoods. BJ, do you know anything about this? And I remember thinking, well, man, out of all the students in here, why are you asking me that question? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it really hurt. And I remember going through all this, and that wasn't even the beginning. Like most college students, I like to go party. I like to go, go out and hang out with my friends. I mean, I was a freshman. And I remember vividly going to a frat party my third weekend out there. And it was a drunk white guy. He bumped into me. I told him I was sorry. I remember he looked at me, and I had never seen no one look at me the way he looked at me. And I remember he started cursing me out. And I told him, bro, I said, relax. It's okay. Like, I bumped into you on accident. I'm not trying to start nothing. It's okay. Next thing you know, I got called a nigger for the first time in my life. So that really put me in shock. Yeah, and I remember my reaction was like, it was just like reaction. Yeah. And it ended up us putting hands on each other. And I remember my close friend of mine, he had called the police. Police came, everything, told him the situation. And I was the one that was getting detained. And I was trying to tell him, like, dude, like, not only did he call me a nigger, but he put his hands on me first. And he got to walk away free. And I remember I had to have a 45-minute conversation with the police, trying to tell my side of the story so I don't have to spend the night in jail. And I remember going home that night after they finally let me go, just being so angry.
Right.
And I didn't understand what to do. I didn't want to tell my mom about it because my mom is a single mother. She takes care of me and my younger sister. Right. And I knew that I didn't want her stressing out about her son being gone for school.
Right.
And me and my father don't have the best relationship. So whenever I had issues growing up, and even today, my father is really not the type of person that I would really go talk to about.
Got it.
So that's when I had found your book right here, and it really helped me out because the questions that it was asking me was questions that I never really sat down and really thought about. But when I took the time on my day to really think about these questions and write them down, I got to express myself in another way that I wasn't used to. And it felt much better than lashing out on people,
Yep.
Letting all that build up inside, making me angry, and just suppressing my feelings.
Right.
Because growing
Yeah,
up, if I had
all that's
issues,
bad. Yeah, all that's bad.
yeah,
All the suppression and all the
yeah,
it kind of swings both ways. When you're not expressing yourself adequately, you can
right,
swing the way. You can swing the way of lashing out. I've had those episodes. I promise you
right,
that we've literally just been talking about one, or it comes to all the way just suppressing everything, not talking about anything at all. Just keeping it all balled up, and that's a horrific swing to have
right,
emotionally.
yeah. And I want to point something out that you have in your book. It's probably like the second, third page, right here where it says a guided general experience. This sentence that you wrote really resonated with me. It says the inability to express oneself has led to eternal suffrage and problematic progression. Now that to me is deep because I feel like a lot of the reasons why we have the issues we do have as black men is because we're not taught how to deal with them. We're not taught. And I tell people this all the time, slavery was not that long ago.
No,
It really wasn't.
we are definitely still suffering from
From mental
aspects of this.
trauma.
I think the communication aspect is a huge thing we overlook.
Right.
As far as the ability to express ourselves freely, without any repercussion. And it has been, you pass things down through DNA. It's passed down. It is scientifically been studied that you can pass things down, ways and habits and things of that nature. And so
100%.
you tell me for years, of hundreds of years, things been passed down, beaten into us or projected, mentally, physically, visually, and then us as men should be able to snap out of it, but it's just not that easy.
And I'm glad you say that because I had got to a point where I was so angry with the world. And I want to be honest with you, a lot of my problems growing up resulted with my relationship with my father.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to be 100% honest, I hated my dad growing up. I just didn't like him. I just always felt like he always fussed a lot. He was always angry. He never really understood me. He just was never there for him the way I wanted him to be.
Right.
And that I kept that inside my whole life. So I was holding on to that. And I got to a point where I was like, this is holding me back for being the man I want to be. And the man, the father, the husband, the friend that I want to be for my loved ones in the future. So I had to get to a point where, and another thing, this book helped me forgive my father, not for him, but for myself.
For you. Yeah, man.
And I realized that my father didn't have a father growing up. And I realized I was looking at my dad as just a dad. But then I had to realize he is a person himself. Before I ever existed, he was a person himself that was going through the similar things I'm going through, being a black man. So I just had to realize I had to put myself in his shoes and just understand that he don't know either. He's just as clueless as I am, and he's doing the best he can with what he knows.
Yeah.
So ever since then, our relationship is getting better, it's growing, and I'm able to appreciate my father for who he is as a man, not only as my dad, but as a man.
Man, that is huge. I think that's a very valid point that you're making, that us as the offspring of somebody, like we never look back on our parents as people.
Right.
You look at them as parents first. You look at them as that's their first responsibility, only responsibility they've ever had. But the same way, you've learned about your dad, I have mine and my mom. I've learned things about my mom lately just through journaling and different types of conversation. I didn't know it all. I didn't, for the 40 plus years I've known her, she hadn't expressed any of those things to me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like she had to have something on her mind before I was born, before my sister was born. Like she had to have a path she was on, a journey she was on. And so for her
Right.
to get knocked off of it and do something different, like how did that feel? You know, what do you feel like you missed out on? Like all those things those conversations need to be had. And like I said, just to piggyback on what you said, when I saw me and my son's relationship needed improving,
Mm-hmm.
as I started to write these questions down, I wasn't thinking about my dad because I felt like we had a great relationship, and
Right.
not saying that we didn't, but it was very surface. You know, talked about sports, talked about work, talked about church. You know what I'm saying? Talk about food, and
Yeah.
you have those same conversations over and over, and you're not getting to know the person for what they do, for who they are.
Yeah.
You're just talking about what they do.
Right.
And so as you know, we started getting into the thing, and I started just really understanding why he made certain decisions. You know, certain things, certain conversations we've never had.
Mm-hmm.
This journaling and these questions, you know, it was really intriguing because I wrote them for my son, and as I look back on them, BJ, I was like, I don't know none of this stuff about my own dad, and I'm
Right.
thinking we got a great relationship. Like I say, you know, this
Mm-hmm.
I may be on to something here.
Yeah. I think it's good that you wrote this for your children and you're starting to learn. Like you wrote it yourself, but you're learning from it, and
Yeah,
that you're knowing that you can strengthen your relationship with your father in a way that you probably didn't know before.
right.
And I feel like that's the beginning to getting better. It's honestly learning and taking that information we learn and using it. That's what I say in my podcast. It's easy to talk about the problems all day, but if you're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about the solution, then you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just talk.
That's
So,
it.
um,
You just kind of running yourself ragged. Yeah, you can
mhm.
come up with a million problems. Everybody can come up with a million problems, but
It's
how are we
easy
going
to
to
do
solve?
that.
Right, man.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. So what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna ask you a few questions from the journal,
Okay.
just to see where you are from it, and to
Mhm.
see how you explain it. And I guess it's so crazy that our stories are already so similar. And
Mhm.
as you know, as you answer these questions, you know, we're going to be able to relate even more. And I think we don't pursue this as a community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you were open up about the right things, not just who your favorite football team is, but some things that have really had problems with, you will
Mhm.
see that your counterpart, your brother, your friend, they've had the same experiences. They've
Right.
had the same things that's holding them back now. They've had the same issues with, with being able to express themselves.
Mhm.
And so all those things kind of culminate into, I guess, the purpose of what we're doing, and yourself. All right. Let's see here. We're gonna start right here. So this is a good one. To kind of we always talk about finances. We talk about physical and mental in the Hello Black Man movement. So question
Right.
48 simply says, "Hello Black Man, does anyone in your family have health issues? How has it affected you or the ones to who they are directly connected?"
Okay. So this is a good question. Really good question. So my mother has bipolar, and sometimes growing up, she'd have really happy days, and she'd have not so happy days. And me being a kid and being with my mom and my sister and being technically the man of the house, whenever she was having a certain feeling, I would feel it too.
Yep.
And there was times that I could remember, like I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I wanted to help, but I couldn't do anything.
Just suffocated.
Yeah, and that really affected me because I knew that my dad wasn't really going to do anything, and I knew that the next man up was me. And I think honestly, her issues in a way taught me to have more sympathy for people, to be more understanding, and to really understand where people are coming from. Because, like I said, my mom, she's bipolar, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I may have a little bit of it too, because there's times where I have high moments and low moments.
Mm-hmm.
But being with her and her opening up to us, her kids about it, it really taught me that it's okay to deal with your issues, and it's okay that nobody's perfect, and it's okay because
Right.
once you understand that there's a problem, then you can get to fixing it. And me and my mom, we have a great relationship. My mom is my best friend,
That's
and
awesome.
we talk about literally everything. So watching her fight those battles, taking care of me, my sister, and just dealing with her own stuff as well as helping us become
Yep.
good people and taking care of us. I have a lot of respect for my mother. My mom's a soldier. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. Just her transparency there. That's a
Mhm.
huge step. Like that's a huge stepping stone. It's a building block.
Right.
For her to come forth, with her, with any type of, personal, private, medical issues. Say, hey, this is what's going on with me. This is where I am.
Mhm.
This is what's going to happen. That's huge because a lot of time that doesn't happen. One, we won't get diagnosed, so that's huge already, and,
I
and
got a
then
whole,
right, and then two, to give you that information without feeling she's going to be judged. Now that's
right.
huge also,
Mhm.
because a lot of times parents, certain things happen and well, I'm gonna keep this to myself, or they don't need to know about my high blood pressure. They don't need to know about these pills I'm taking and stuff like that. But in actuality, we do. In
Mhm.
actuality, we need to be there to be helpful, to know, to understand if you fall out, what to give you and stuff like that. But I know, and all too often in our community, parents or the older generation diagnose with certain things, and then they don't share what's going on, and
Yeah.
so the next generation comes and they have the same apparent issues, and nobody knows how this happened. We didn't know this, stuff like that. So that's huge, man. Huge shout out to
Yeah.
your mom for being transparent,
Yeah.
as far as that concerned, man. Let's see. I like this one right here for you. What's your major? Tell us again what your major is.
It's business finance.
Got it.
I'm
And
a math
and
guy. So.
what's your yeah? Oh, you have to be.
Yeah.
What's your plan? You walk out of Norfolk. What you feel like your next step is going to be?
Okay. So I actually have two goals. I'm an aspiring actor and model, so I like doing that on the side. I do it because it gives me a platform to express myself. But
Yep.
with my degree itself, I want to be a financial analyst. So
Got it.
basically, I want to be the person that corporations and companies hire to manage their finances, give them financial advice. I'm pretty much the guy where if you don't know what to do, you ask me, and I will lead you in the right direction.
Man,
So
that's cold blooded right there. I can hear
yeah,
the confidence. I can hear the confidence in your voice. Like this, ask me. I got you. I
yeah,
get you on the right track. I
mm-hmm.
like that. I like that. Question 45 simply says, hello, black man, explain your political views. Would you ever run for a political office? If so, which office? If not, why?
Okay, so this is a tough one. So I want to say I don't really like putting myself in categories a lot, but I
Mm-hmm.
often tend to see myself on the Democratic side. Uh, but I'm also one of those people where I'm not going to choose one side like Democrat or Republican just because I want to stick to my preferred side. I usually go based off the person, and typically that person is a Democrat. But would I ever run for political office? I think I would. I think I'd be good at it. I feel like I handle pressure pretty well, and I feel like would be able to do it. And if I would, which office? Uh, man, I don't want to be president. I'd want to change everything. I want to be able to have my foot in every single door. I want to be president.
Every single door. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Politics is so. Sometimes it gets taboo in our community.
yeah, it does.
Just being able to express ourselves from a policy standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still see people, like you said, they are following a party, regardless of what the party says.
Mm-hmm.
And that can get scary. That can really get
Right.
scary really quickly if you're not watching the things that they're putting into the cooking pot. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, hey, I'm gonna eat out of this pot regardless of what they cook. And if you're not watching what they're putting in there, it could be the exact same pot,
Right.
on the other
Right.
side of the stove. So we have to get to a point to where it's one of those things where we are policy watchers, people watchers. What has this person done
Yeah.
with their past 4 years, 8 years? Like, it can't be just we can't blindly give our vote and power to any political party. You know, I'm one of those people
Mm-hmm.
that believe the same way. I was a poli sci major a long time ago. Wow, 21 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it's something that I feel the exact same way. Like, I want to see, if I'm about to vote, I need to know something about both candidates. Yeah, I may lean toward one candidate starting out. Hey, this is my 1A, this is my number 2. But I still want to hear both. I still want to watch. I watch the Republican National
Mm-hmm.
Convention every year. Every year, I'm watching those guys go up and give their policy, give their statements, give their talks. You need to know. Like, you have to have that same information.
Right.
Uh, that's just one of those things I definitely believe in the exact same way. We're going to give a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Cool.
Hello, black man. This guided journal is being made available to build character, confidence, and define the inner person.
It has been deemed clear that our culture and our past has hindered black men from being open and vulnerable. Hello, black man.
Hello, black man. All right, we're back. So the next question is kind of off topic. And
Okay.
we kind of touched base on it a little bit, but I want you to just express a little more. Question 22 in the journal says, hello, black man. What qualities make you a strong person? What traits of your character do you feel need improvement?
Okay. So I would say what makes me wait, let me read it one more time. Make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, so the qualities I feel that make me a strong person is I'm open to learning. So when I say that, I'm not one of those people that feels like I'm always right, because I feel like if you feel like you're perfect right now, then there's no room to grow and you can't
You're in
become
trouble.
better. So
Yeah.
I honestly feel like I'm the type of person where I can take in information, analyze it, and learn from it. Like I said, the person I am today was not the person I was yesterday, and that's my goal: just to be a little bit better every day, at least to be 1% better every single day. So whether that's
Huge.
in school,
Yep.
life, relationships with people, I want to learn every single day, because my biggest fear is growing old and saying, "Man, I wish I could have did that when I was younger," or "Man, I wish I would have did this," or "Man, I wish I would have just took that advice," or "I would have just trusted my gut." All right, that's my biggest fear. You only live one time.
Yeah.
So we might as well make the most of it.
That, you know what? That is so on point. One of my, on the left side of the journal, I have, though, this is as plain as I can put it. And one of them says, die with no great ideas. You know what I'm saying? Die with no great ideas. Like, I still have music in my heart. I still have, music. I feel like I can produce something, a song, a rap, or something. Like, I don't want to be 75 telling I should have put a song out 30 years ago or 40 years
Yeah.
ago. Like, I want to try that. I want to try, get in the food industry. I want to try, if it's, insurance, like, whatever. Like, why not? Like, there's really no reason why not. You can't, attempt to do those things.
And honestly, that's what led me to create my podcast. I honestly was like, man, I want to do something. Like I know there's more people out there like me,
Yes.
and what could I possibly do to help? And lo and behold, I was just watching TV one day, and there was an episode. I forgot what show it was, but there was somebody was doing a podcast, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I can do that. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, that would take a lot of time, a lot of effort and work. But I
Yep.
said, you know what? Why not? I mean, if I don't do it today, I'm gonna tell myself the same thing tomorrow. I'll do it. I'll do it the next day. I'll do it. I said, you might as well. I know there's more people out there like me, and I know I can talk to people. I know people can talk to me, and I felt like I might as well do it now. It's better to start younger than later. So
Absolutely.
that's how I'm looking at it.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
why a couple of reasons why I commend what you're doing so much.
I
One
appreciate that.
that you took the step. That you took the
Uh-huh.
step. And knowing that there are people out there that need what you're giving. Like
Right.
so having an audience, having a need. Anytime they say you are creating a product, there has to be a need for the product in order for it to generate growth.
Right.
So you recognize it. First, you recognize it from a personal standpoint, and then you recognize that, hey, if I can improve, if I can grow, then I think it will be great for my community to do as well. Like that's where sometimes we miss the mark. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we
100%.
figure one person figures it out. They get better. They're whatever. Their finances get better. Their love relationship gets better, whatever. And then they don't share that information. Then they don't freely share how to make their neighbor better, their community better, their neighborhood better, their city better, their state better.
Mhm.
That has to happen. And like I said, I really commend you for doing that. The other thing is, when you get started, I mean, you're a college student. At the end of the day, you're a student, but at the end of the
Right.
day, you're a college student, but you're thinking long term already. Like you're really
Mhm.
thinking big picture. So that's a phenomenal thing to do for you to already have that mindset where you're thinking big picture.
Thanks.
And
Thanks.
when you're creating something like this, you're gonna see literally a million more things that resemble what you're doing.
Mhm.
And so never get down about like they doing this, but nobody's you, BJ. I'm gonna
Right.
be clear to you. Like nobody's bringing what you're bringing to the table. So just
Yeah. I
continue
take
to
that in all of
push.
you.
Yeah, man, just continue to push. The people that are supposed to cross your path, they will. The people that you're supposed to reach, you will reach. That
That's,
there can't be too many positive people out there, but the
uh,
people that come in front of you, they're supposed to. So make sure that you're treating them important.
right.
I know everybody wants to have 3 million followers, and when you turn the thing on, you got 40,000 views and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If you're consistent, that stuff will come. I promise
Yeah.
you that'll be there, man. So I just commend you for taking that leap of faith and then
Yeah.
being consistent with it, man. So we're watching you. We'll be pushing you. We'll be staying in contact and things of that nature.
Thank you.
From that standpoint, man, you're just doing a great job. I'm gonna get you one more question out of the journal. I tell you what I would like for you to do. Do you have any that you've already written out? Any entries that you would like to share?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Oh man,
Uh,
that'll be great there.
yeah. So I think it was 42. And it's funny how you was talking about. You were saying that nobody is me. I was
Yep.
telling my cousin the other day that he was going through some things, and I was talking to him, and I was saying that, man, as long as you trust in God, you trust in yourself,
Mhm.
everything will play out the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
And I was telling him about my podcast. I was saying, honestly, bro, I don't care if a million people watch it or one person watches it. It's going to reach to a need to reach.
Yep. Yep.
And
You,
talk
you, you,
about it, but that one person that may be watching may not have.
yep.
And they may have got out of my little 30-minute podcast what they needed to keep moving for that day.
Yep.
You never know.
It's
So
important. I'm telling you, it's
honestly,
important. It is, man. It's important.
okay.
What question? What
So
question
this one,
you looking at?
42.
All right. I'll read it off for you.
Okay.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got it. You got it in
Okay.
front of you.
All right. It says, "Hello, black man. How would you describe your mental health? Would you ever seek professional help like counseling or therapy? Why or why not?" So I wrote, I would describe my mental health as shaky. At times I feel good, and at times I don't. But I know there's something I can do to help myself. But sometimes I feel like it's not something I should do. Growing up, I was always told to suck it up or just deal with it. But as I'm growing and becoming older, I'm starting to realize that that's not always the answer. If you would have asked me this question a few years ago, I would have said no. But today, I'm saying something opposite. I'm saying that I would take counseling and I would do therapy because at times we have to put our pride aside and do what's best for us, even though we may not feel like, even though we may not feel comfortable doing it. Sometimes we have to do what's best for us. So I basically was saying right here that a few years ago, uh, I was told by my mom. My mom was like, "Do you think you should try counseling?" And I was like, "No, you know wrong with me. Counseling's for crazy people. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm good. I'm fine." And I always told people that I'm good. I'm fine. But that was just my way of brushing it off.
Yeah.
And all those problems, the little problems I was dealing with, what would happen is it would build up over time, and I would explode. And then when I would explode, people would be like, "Oh, he's a bad guy," or
Yeah.
"He's aggressive," and they would call me all them things I know I'm not. But oftentimes I feel like you said in our community, it's the lack of knowledge. It's the lack of knowing what to do to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I have been doing some counseling and therapy, and it's helped me grow as a person, helped me realize some things about myself that I may not have realized before. And I really do feel like taking that step for me to understand my mental health and understand that I need help was big because sometimes you may not want to talk to somebody who knows you personally
True.
because you don't want their feelings to be affected by yours.
True.
And you
Yep.
talk to somebody who's neutral in the situation, they can give you honest advice.
Yep.
So, and that's
Yep.
really has helped me.
It's
And
especially a person like you that you don't want to drop anything bad off with anybody. You know,
yeah,
you're going through something yourself, and you're like, okay, now if I go put this bag in their car gonna be weighed down, worried about
mhm,
what they got. Then they're gonna be worried about me.
yeah. And
So
like I was saying earlier, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, like I was saying earlier, when I was going through some things at school, going through things growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that me and my mom had a real strong relationship, and I could tell her anything. But there were certain things I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want her to be stressed out about me because I
Yep.
saw the stress that she was getting from the world. So I always felt like, man, like why would I want to pay somebody to talk about my feelings? But it's deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the person who's talking to you is somebody that is going to help you realize things about yourself you may not realize. They're going to give you neutral advice. They're going to ask you, how do you feel? Why does that make you feel a certain way? Not necessarily, you'll be okay, man, or you'll be all right. Sometimes you don't need to hear that. You need somebody to ask you, why do you feel the way you feel?
Yep. Good
And
follow up question.
stimulates your brain and makes you,
Yeah.
and it makes you think about things you may not have thought about otherwise.
Man, listen, that
So,
is absolutely awesome. So I got two I guess two notes. One,
okay.
uh you're a very young man, and at some point you'll grow, you have a family, you have kids and wife and the
Right.
whole nine. One, just think about, you know, just writing it out for you, writing question 42 out for you. You got a chance to reflect in your past. You got a chance to reflect, from where you came to, you kind of like a bookmark. You see where you came from, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get a chance to look at where you are right now. And even in the same sentence, you talk about, where you headed. So just imagine how impactful that would be for your son to be able to see this.
Right.
My kids are, I will say that my kids are pretty bright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're pretty bright.
Uh-huh.
This is nothing they're going to ask me. They're not going to ask me, Dad, tell me about your mental health. Like, they want what they want. They are kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah,
teenagers, but this kind of information that you're able to get down and able to have them really read word for word where you stand on certain things, man, it's gonna be absolutely impactful and invaluable for him. And then for generations to come. So that is
Right.
huge in itself, man. So
Mhm.
I tell people, man, so you're really writing down answer keys.
Yeah.
You know, if your kid is going through anything or have any, any issues, from a mental standpoint, how do I feel? What's going on? I feel this way. And then say, hey, my dad's been very transparent with what he's been through. Like
Mhm.
that's huge, man. Like that's a
Yeah.
huge building block. Like that's so much trust in those passages to be able to pass it on. I think it's almost it's priceless. It really
Yeah.
is.
It is. And with me being younger, I can tell you honestly, kids they notice everything.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I can be 100% honest with you. There was a lot of times growing up when I felt a certain way, I wasn't, and I was asking for answers. I wasn't looking for nothing miraculous. Sometimes I just wanted somebody to tell me, "Hey, BJ, I don't really understand what you're going through, but I'm here for you, and we're gonna
Man,
get through it." And
man,
they don't. Sometimes people don't realize that's all you need. It's just the comfort of knowing that somebody cares about you and they're
yep,
gonna help you. Like if I had a question, that's all I really wanted to hear. I didn't want
yep,
to. Sometimes I didn't really care about what the answer was. I just wanted somebody to let me know it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. It's nothing that we can't get through. And I'm telling you right now, kids, they notice that. So what you're doing right now, I really I commend you for because you're doing some things that I wish my father would have did. Uh, and that's
it's,
going to help them. And that,
it's huge.
yeah. So that, like you said, the things we learn today, the things we pass on to their kids, our kids, they're going to pass on to their kids and their kids, and that's what starts healing to me. Just that's what starts progression.
It is.
It
Miss
takes
Sandra,
that one person.
Miss Sandra's one of our consistent viewers. She says, very impressed with this young man. Keep pushing forward, reach the stars, make the galaxy your playground.
Thank you, Miss Andrew. I really appreciate that. Like
That,
things like
that-
that really they stick with me.
they
Yeah,
do, man. They
they
do.
really stick with me.
People, I'm not gonna say people don't realize it, man, but like when you get those affirmations, when you're pushing yourself to do things, and you get those affirmations, you can stay up an hour later, you can get up an hour earlier. Now
Mhm.
you can push through certain things. That one moment you about to drop your head, you think about, Miss Sand said, keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? That's
100%.
just it's just there, man. That positive stuff sticks with you.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
feels good to know you're not alone.
It does. It feels so good. Absolutely, man. I'm so glad that we connected. I'm so glad that we are sharing platform spaces. We're pushing for the same type healing, same type revealing from a transparency standpoint. I think it's absolutely awesome. We can't have enough positive brothers, doing what you're doing. And like I said earlier, man, nobody is gonna do what you do. You know what I'm saying? As you see me doing this, you see somebody else doing this, you have to know, like, what you bring to the table, like nobody else is bringing to the table. Like,
Yes, sir.
it's that important, brother. It literally is that important. It really is. Corey Murray says, I will, I must keep pushing forward. That's a great way to start your day every day, man. That is. Appreciate that,
100%. You know
Corey.
what? I'm gonna write that down. Right? 'Cause I like stuff like that. I like
Yeah,
to.
that's good. That's good. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Mr. Corey. I watch a lot of inspirational videos as well. I've been
Mhm.
watching a lot of his name is E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Yeah, I've been watching
And
ET for a while, man. I've been
yeah,
watching
yeah.
ET for a while. Yeah,
Uh,
he's a big. Hey, man, that dude would make you have chills, man. Just his voice
nah,
is
really though.
so. Listen, his voice is so barbershopish. You know what I'm saying? So you just connect
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, he doesn't
Mhm.
sound like he's from Harvard. He doesn't sound quite as country as me, but his
Yeah.
voice is so unique. It's just like you just get zoomed in. A lot of time I
Uh-huh.
will watch him, listen to him going to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very impactful, man. So yeah, keep that kind of stuff up. Absolutely, brother.
There'll be times where I'll
Absolutely.
be watching some of his videos in the bed, and it'd be late at night, and I'll be ready to get up. I'll be ready to get up. I'll be so pumped up. I'm like, I mean, I know it's 11 o'clock, but I gotta go do something. I gotta go work out, do something.
Be ready to attack the whole world.
Yeah.
I got you, man. Hey, listen, I got one more thing, and I want you to end with this question, and then tell people how to connect with you. Tell them how to follow your podcast, how to get in contact with you for the things that you're doing. So the last question is: did the journal help you learn anything new about yourself?
And the journal helped me learn a lot of things about myself, actually. Let me go back to one of these questions. So number 30 says, "Hello, black man. Write a letter to your younger self." So
That's
this
tough.
book, this book, it really. I didn't get a chance to write in this one yet because I'm really thinking about what I'd want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say this right now: the person I am today, I would have never thought I would ever be.
Awesome.
And I learned that this book helped me learn that I'm a much stronger man than I ever thought I could be. And it helped me learn that I can be even stronger than what I am now. Like I said, growing up, I was real timid. I was always the tallest guy. People always expected me, I was a tall, brown, dark-skinned dude.
Yeah.
People always wanted me to be like Debo, like from Friday.
Yeah.
People always like, man, you got to be rough and tough. And that's just what my personality. And I always thought, man, like, I can't find my place. You know what I mean? I can't find my place. People want me to be a certain way, but it's just not who I am. And it really ate me up inside because I really didn't have nobody to talk to about it. And going through this book, reading this book, going through things I'm going through, and I was going through those things as I was reading this book. And even today, it's just like being able to write down my thoughts.
Huge.
In this book, it's allowed me to expand my mindset, my brain in ways I never thought I could. So this has taught me a lot about myself and a lot about, I feel like, this book came in my life at the right time. And
so
like you said earlier,
how did you stumble up? How did you stumble upon it? Like what were you doing? Like what led you to Hello Black Man?
Oh, so my mom. So my mom was telling me that my mom could, parents can sense when you're going through something.
They can.
So my mom was like, BJ, like, I'm doing the best I can. I was like, yeah, Mom, I understand you're doing the best I can. You're doing everything I could possibly need you to do. But she was saying, at the end of the day, I'm still a woman. And I understand that, your father may not be able to give you what you need. You may not have a lot of male role models, but she said she had a coworker that had got this book for her son. And she said, her son really liked it. So she said, I'm going to recommend it to you. And at first, I saw it. She gave it to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll dabble into it later. I'll get into it. But I remember I was at a real low point, and I was like, man, I need help, something. And I read the first page, and I was like, you know what? That just made me feel better. And that's why I highlighted that sentence that you put at the beginning. I'm going to say it again. Where it says, I passed it. It says the inability to express oneself has led to eternal suffrage and problematic progression. And honestly, just reading that sentence just made me feel like dang, like I'm by myself. Like I don't know what to do. And it's somebody who is like me, looks like me, wrote this book for people like us. And it really made me feel like, I'm not the only one. And I feel like a lot of times that's what leads people to like their demise, because it's just like we feel like we're the only ones going through it when there's a whole community of people that are going through the same thing. And I feel like that's honestly what it's about: people helping each other, people growing, and just like you said, it always takes that one person. So I felt like, you know what, that one person took the step to make this book. I can take that step to make my podcast, and like that person helped me, I can help someone else, and then as a community we can grow. So that's honestly what how I got into the book and how it's helped me, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm still not done with it. I feel like I'm definitely gonna get through all of it. There'll be times where I may not answer a question right away because I want to answer it truthfully, because I like to go back and read what I put. So if I'm having a day where I really need to remind myself something, I want to just open up the book and look at it. And this is something that I would keep for years on.
Oh,
and
man.
Like content like this is what I would want to pass on to my kids and their kids. Because like I said, sometimes it's hard to tell your loved ones how you're feeling. So
Oh,
if you can write it in
absolutely.
a journal, yeah, if you can write it in a journal, and and it's made by somebody like you you're going to relate to it just off that. And I've already recommended to my cousins, some of my friends, and they said they're going to check it out. And I told them that, yeah, man, it's really good. So
It's huge. Yeah, man. Every question we put in, man, if you can answer it quickly, we deleted it. If it was something you're like, oh, that ain't nothing, yeah, I know exactly what to
yeah,
put.
I
But
can
but,
tell.
but
I can tell. Because there was one question that said, "What's your favorite childhood memory?" And I had to really sit there and think about it. And I was like, man, I could put any old thing in here, but I need to know what my favorite memory is. So
yeah.
mhm.
So, man, listen, man, you have been such an inspiration here tonight, man. I'm telling you, you are a
Thank you.
huge inspiration. Like we'll be tracking you. Trust me, we'll be tracking you. We'll be sharing your stuff, man. We'll be rooting from you, not from the sideline. We'll be on the front row. We're gonna be
Yes,
rooting
sir.
for you,
Thank you.
man. Stay, like I said, this is, and the way we got this thing set up, man. You can inbox it at any time. Keep in touch. What you're doing, what you're working on, where you headed. This is a great networking opportunity. It really, really is, man. So, man, I appreciate your time tonight. This is our time for tonight. Tell
Mhm.
people the name of your podcast one more time and how to get in contact with you.
Okay, so the name of my podcast is called Amongst Men. The Instagram page is amongst men dot podcast. Uh, I usually upload inspirational things on the Instagram page or videos that I feel like really touch me, and then I also upload the podcast, like usually like the first minute of the podcast. But the podcast is actually aired on YouTube, and the link is in the description of the Instagram page, so you can find that there. Right now, I only have one episode up. I've been real busy with moving and just getting myself together, but my goal is to interview all types of people. So I want to not only do I want to interview black men, I want to interview black women. I want to interview kids, people my age, adults, older people. So I mean, if anybody's interested in that, we can definitely set something up via Zoom or this StreamYard. Just let me know. You can inbox me on that. My personal account is bj.simmons, Simmons. So if you want to ask me something personal or you just like BJ, man, like how did you get through this or that? I'm definitely open to that. Either one is fine. So that's where you can reach me
Man,
at. My email is also in my personal Instagram account. So it would say email. You want to email me something or connect. If you're in the area, I mean, I'm happy to help.
man. BJ, that is awesome. I've dropped the link for your episode in the link below. And what we're going to do
Okay.
is we're going to make sure that anybody that's watching hit the subscribe button, so we can start building BJ's following, his network, and things of that nature. BJ,
Thank
it's
you.
been an
Sure.
honor. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you. We will be in touch. I got some things I want to work with you on, Doc.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you
All
much.
right, man. You be
All right.
easy.
Yes, sir. Mr. BJ Simmons, ladies and gentlemen, he's a phenomenal young man about to graduate in the finance business world. Took his time to come on to express where he is mentally uh, as a young man, things he's been through, and how journaling has helped him. He has a podcast of his own. Like we're sharing spaces here, and that's the main thing we're able to do and help. We can help one another. We really can. But I thank you all for your time. I thank you all for your listening and your shares and everything that's coming and watching us, man. I'm telling you, if me and BJ are able to connect that quickly on so many things, I assure you there are others out there like us that need to be connected. You understand what I'm saying? If you can see how easily we're connected, just imagine the masses of men, women, teens, children, couples that need to be connected, need to tap in and figure out who they are, not just what they're doing. My name is Jamie Jenkins. It has been another episode of the Hello Black Man podcast. We thank y'all for joining. Hello, Black Man.